Good morning class. Today we start with class 8 civics chapter 7 understanding marginalization, and class this is our fourth lecture and our first topic is Adivasis and development. So first let's see what are the developments occurred in the life of the Adivasis. As you have already read in your history textbook, forests were absolutely crucial to the development of all empires and settled civilizations in India. So in last history textbooks you have read that forest is the home for home for all the empires and the settled civilization took place in the forest itself. So metal ores like iron and copper and gold and silver, coal and diamonds, inedible timber, most medicinal herbs and animal products like wax, lac, honey, and animals themselves, elephants, the mainstay of the imperial armies, all came from the forest. And in addition, the continuation of life depends heavily on forest that help recharge many of India's reserves and as is becoming clear now, crucial to availability and quality of our air and water. So class, we know that forests play a vital role in providing the food for animals, human beings, and forest is the motherland where all the empires and all the civilizations took place. So forests provide us with so many different herbs, fruits and different plants and animal species, and also it provides us air and water. So let's see some of the major points regarding this topic. So forests cover the major parts of our country till the 19th century, and the Adivasis had a deep knowledge of access to as well as control over most of the vast tracts at least till the middle of the 19th century. So basically Adivasis have a very deep knowledge of access about the forest and control over the forest since the middle of 19th century, and this means that they were not ruled by large states and empires. Instead, often empires heavily dependent on Adivasis for crucial access for forest resources. So in many books we have read that there are so many empires who were dependent on Adivasis for the forest resources like coal, wax, timber and other minerals. So Adivasis helped those empires to get all the forest products by the help of Adivasis, and this is radically contrary to our image of Adivasi today as somewhat marginal and powerless communities. But in day-to-day life, Adivasis are considered as powerless communities and marginal. In the pre-colonial world, they were traditionally ranked hunter-gatherers and nomads and lived by shifting agriculture and also cultivating in one place. So basically this is the method of agriculture and living of the Adivasis in the forest. So Adivasis are basically termed as the hunter-gatherers and nomads. Those people who hunt for their living are called hunter, and those Adivasis who gather some forest product for their livelihood are called hunter and gatherers, and some of them are nomadic. Those people who move from one place to another in search of food and water are nomads. So basically in day-to-day life we know that Adivasis are hunter-gatherers and nomads, but this is not true to the context of today, day-to-day life. Although this remained for the past 200 years, Adivasis have been increasingly forced through economic changes, forest policies and political force applied by the state and private industries. So basically, if we talk about 200 years later, many Adivasis are forced to economic changes. There are so many forest policies which throw Adivasis from the forest, and there are so many political powers and bodies which apply to the Adivasis to take their settlement for their iron ores and some other minerals. So that's why the life of Adivasis are still suffering. So to migrate to lives as workers in plantation and construction sites, in industries and the domestic workers. This migration due to the economic, political and private properties, private industries, Adivasis had to migrate to different cities and reside in different cities, and they were forced to work as a plantation workers or in construction sites or in work in industry, or sometimes they are working in the domestic, they are working like domestic workers. For the first time in history, they do not control or have much direct access to the forest territories. So basically, due to so many forest policies, these Adivasis could not have right to enter in the forest and access to the forest territories and their homeland. So there are so many policies made by the government to remove the Adivasis from a particular forest to take minerals from that particular forest. So forest land have been cleared for timber and to get land for agriculture and industries. So many private factories have moved or evacuated Adivasis from jungles or forests to get agricultural land and materials for industries or establishment of industries in forest region. Adivasis have also lived in areas that are rich in minerals and other natural resources. So basically, Adivasis have also lived in areas where there were so many rich minerals and other natural resources like coal and iron ore. For example, coal is in Jharkhand where the Santals live, and there are so many iron ore mines in Orissa. So there are so many tribal people live in forest areas where so many minerals are found. So that's why these people are thrown out from the jungle to obtain that particular minerals by the private or the public sector industries in India. So class, much of the time the land is taken away forcefully and procedures are not followed. According to official figures, more than 50% of persons displaced due to mines and mining projects are tribals. So if we take a look in India, so more than 50% of the persons are displaced due to extraction of minerals in jungle, and due to that so many Adivasis are forcefully evacuated from that particular forest. So another recent survey report by organizations working among Adivasis shows that 79% of the persons displaced from states of Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Orissa and Jharkhand are tribals. So in this particular states, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Orissa and Jharkhand, there are so many tribals linked. In that particular tribals area, there are so many minerals found like coal, iron ore, bauxite and these types of minerals are found. So that's why these people have been thrown out by the government or the private sector industries. Huge tracts of their lands have also gone under the waters of hundreds of dams that have been built in independent India. So if you know that by creation of so many huge dams, their land, their homeland turns into the reservoir which caused the evacuation of tribal people from that particular river area. So in the northeast, their lands remain highly militarized and war-torn. So if we talk about our northeast India, most of the Adivasi lands are occupied by the military, and that particular region is converted into war torn or war base. So India has 54 national parks and 372 wildlife sanctuaries covering 1,09,652 square kilometers. These are areas where tribal originally lived but were evicted from. So if we talk about the land under Adivasis, for example in India there are 54 national parks and 372 wildlife sanctuaries. So it covers into 1,09,652 square kilometer. This area belongs to the tribal people or the Adivasis, but due to making of national park and wildlife sanctuaries, these tribal people or Adivasis have to evacuate from that particular region, and they are suffering for other works like in cities, and they are not getting their rights over the city, or that they have lost their culture and tradition which were followed in the forest region. So these are areas where tribals originally lived. So when they continue to stay in this forest, they are termed encroachers. So let's see class some of the major topics regarding the development of Adivasis. So class, these are some topics regarding the development of Adivasis. Adivasis have a good knowledge of assets as well as control over most forest resources. Second point, empires heavily dependent on Adivasis for the crucial assets of to forest resources. Adivasis today are as somewhat marginal and powerless communities. In pre-colonial world, they were traditionally ranked hunter-gatherers and nomads and lived by shifting agriculture done in one place. And Adivasis have been forced to encourage forest policies and political forces applied by state government or the private property. So class, here are some more points regarding this topic.